I recently quit my 9 to 5 job that had a certain level of status and was by many well paid graduate job. The reaction I had to this was fairly mixed. Some people completely got why I decided to leave. A lot of people, not the case. Why are you leaving? You must be mad. It's a good job, good company to work for, pension. Think about all of these important things. I only worked this job for around 6 months and that was on and off. And some people had been working there for 20, 30 plus years. And I don't think, for me, this isn't normal, and I don't think this should be something that is celebrated either. But that by the status quo, it is by the masses. A lot of people would celebrate. You've been with the company 20 years now. You've been coming 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, working your job you don't really like. You have to do all this stuff. You have to dress a certain way. You have to be there a certain time every single day, reporting to your boss, doing as you're told. And to be honest with you, during my time, I really was not happy whatsoever in these 6 months. I wasn't happy with my life. I get up every day and think, I don't want to do this shit. I really don't want to do this at all. And I'm going to be open and honest. And that's why I decided to make this video. And some people won't agree with what I say, and some people won't like what I say. But I made this video because I always tell the truth. I'm always authentic, and I want to help you if you are going through something similar and making these key decisions with your life. I think that's the only right thing to do. So I'm talking specifically about the corporate world in this video because this is what I worked in my job, and it wasn't even that bad compared to a lot of other places, especially if you go to London or a big city. I wasn't in that kind of space whatsoever. But I understand, a lot of people do work jobs like this and they are led to believe that they, enjoy it and they've been there a long time and they think, what else is there to do? But I'll break a few things down in this video and it might make you, reconsider. So for me, I was sat at my desk for around 95% of the time. Monday to Friday, I'd be working from home or I'd be in the office. Most of the time, I'd be working from home, and this was very unfulfilling. I felt very lonely. I had very little interaction. I made this very clear that I wasn't happy with working from home. I didn't think it was the right thing for me. I didn't think it was the right thing for anyone really to work from home. I don't think it's very good for anyone to work from home. You don't get as much done. You're not as proactive. I don't think you get the necessarily human connections that we all craving, especially in this world that is very digital and is only getting more digitalized, especially for young people coming in like myself to a completely different world, a new job. And I was basically told, you're working from home 3-4 days. You can come in, but no one will be in the office. And I was like, well, I'm not going to come in, am I? Why would I do that? These days felt extremely long. I really, like I say, I didn't enjoy these days. 9 to 5 felt like 20 hours really. It felt like double the amount of time I was actually there. The weeks went by quite quick though. I did notice that the weeks did tick by, and weeks would turn into months, months turn into years, years turn into decades. And you see why a lot of people get trapped in this and why time goes by so fast, because they're stuck in a job that they don't find fulfilling. They do it every single day and they just get told this is what I'm meant to do, blah blah blah, and then realize 20-30 years down the line that they've probably been doing something that doesn't feel very purposeful or fulfilling to them. And I realized this at a young age, and I made it clear. I got asked, if you do this job and you don't enjoy it, what will you do? I'll be like, well, I'll leave. And I did. And I've left. And I'm at the other side now. And I'm feeling a lot happier 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after I left my job. And like I say, I feel this was a big factor, the lack of interaction, as I made clear in my previous video. I find it crazy, to be honest with you, that people are okay with working from home, sat on their, in their living room or in an office at home for 8 hours a day. I don't understand it at all. I think that the world has gone mad really to be doing this. I don't think it's healthy at all. Like I've said, I don't think anyone's happy at all doing this at all. And I would actually go into the office more and I'd be there on my own and be like, well, what is the point of me being here? I'm in the office on my own. I may as well be at home. I'm spending extra time coming into the office and going home later. I'm like, well, what's the point? I may as well, just do what everyone else does and work from home. But then again, I'd feel even worse about my day. And a lot of the time, obviously, you get told you're working a 9 to 5, but a lot of the time they don't take into consideration, you've got to travel, you've got to get up earlier, you got to have a shower, you got to make some food, you got to put your suit on, put your smart clothes on, and do all this shit that you don't really want to do. So I'd be leaving, say, 40 minutes before 9, and I didn't even live very far away at all. A lot of people were commuting a lot further than I was. And then I'd leave the office, say, 5, get home 5:30, 5:45, and yeah, I would be pretty sapped from energy, lacking motivation, thinking, oh, it's another day done. I don't really feel like I've achieved much. I don't feel fulfilled in any way. I would still go to the gym. I'd still try and make YouTube videos. Maybe the quality was not as good. Maybe my workouts weren't as good. I'd go to the gym and it'd be busy and be like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be at the gym with everyone else, all these normal people coming at this time, and be like, I don't want to be part of that. And it was a winter time as well. It was dark. It was cold. Naturally, feeling more fatigued, and it's hard. It's hard to motivate yourself. Yeah, I was going through a lot, as I've made very clear, with my mum and a lot of other things going on. But I still do it quite often because I felt my work was very purposeless. I didn't find fulfillment in my role, so I had to find that elsewhere. And that's kind of the only sources of fulfillment I found. And I felt this is no way to live your life. And let's talk about money, because that's a big question. That's something that obviously a lot of people, you got to consider it when you're taking a job. When you're looking at jobs, you're going to be thinking, okay, how much am I going to get paid? Is it worth my time? Blah, blah, blah. And when you're on a salary, this is something that actually worked out. You're not really getting paid that well at all. You're probably actually getting paid like minimum wage, or it almost seems like less sometimes when you actually do the calculations. So as a graduate, I was on £29,500 a week, 37.5 week contract, the usual kind of holidays and stuff. And this equated to £2,458 before any deductions whatsoever. So after tax per month, I think I was left with about £1,720. And if you equate this per week, you'd be talking £430 a week you would be paid for. Again, without any deductions. You're not talking tax, national insurance, student debt. I had a company car that was taken off me as well. So all of these other things, and then obviously you have your own personal bills going out the way too. So like I say, that's £430 a week. You divide this by 5, £86 a day. You divide that by 8 hours of your time. So it works out that you are getting paid, you're getting paid like £10 an hour or so, just over £10. And again, would you work for, if the job title was like, you're getting paid like £10.20, £10.30 an hour, you wouldn't exactly be, delighted with that, would you? I mean, some people might take it. First thing, especially as a graduate, and you think you go into this graduate role and doing, you're moving up in the world. Are you? Are you really? Because I don't think you are. And I remember I'd look at a couple of days, I'd look at my investments, and as I probably mentioned on this channel, I'm quite a big an investor myself. I think, that's a very good way to make some money on the side. And a lot of jobs nowadays don't pay you what you deserve. And to keep up with the cost of living, especially in most Western countries, UK, US, Australia, you can't live a decent life on an average salary like this, really. So, I've always thought, investments are a good way to make money. And some days I'd be in the office again, unfulfilled, not really doing much with my work, not finding any kind of joy or anything. I spend a lot of time looking at my investments, and some days I would make more from my investments than I would working my job in a whole week. And this, all I had to do was click a few buttons. I wouldn't have to get up extra early. I wouldn't have to have a shower and wear these clothes that I don't even really want to wear, and come to the office and speak a certain way and speak to certain people that, I'm not really compatible with at all, do work again, unfulfilling. And that's my whole day. I've traded my day for, like I say, basically £10 an hour, and something that I don't really find fulfilling at all. And I just thought, what am I doing? I'm making more from this, and I could do this wherever I want in the world. I could go and live somewhere else where it's a lot cheaper, the weather's a lot better, I'd probably be a lot happier. What am I doing? And this was a big reason why I decided to leave and be like, what am I doing? I'm working for someone else, doing something that's not fulfilling, whereas I'm making more for pressing a few buttons, which I could do anywhere in the world. And if I actually spent more time researching, doing my due diligence in investments, I would probably be a half decent investor. I like to think of myself as that anyway. And like I say, I just felt, what am I doing? And I think these are the two major factors that you have to consider, is your time and your money when you're looking at a job. And I think a lot of people have been lied to, and I've made this clear. I've made other videos about working a 9 to 5 before I even did this job, and my opinion hasn't really changed on that, to be honest with you. Will I ever work a 9 to 5 again? I don't know. In a world like a corporate world, highly unlikely, I think. I don't think it's worth it. I think most people, like I say, are very miserable, very unhappy with their lives. There's not a lot of happiness at all. I wasn't happy. Obviously, people find joy in different ways, and maybe there's a job in the corporate world for you that you absolutely love. But for me, it's not been the case. And like I say, not all jobs are the same. You can work a good job. You don't have to have a business. You don't have to make passive income or do anything like that. You could work a job and, be one of the happiest person in the world. And it doesn't have to be a lot of money. It doesn't have to be high status. It doesn't have to be a set location, anything like that. You can find joy in a lot of different ways. But like I said, I think a lot of people are being lied to. And I think if a lot more people took the time to truly meditate on how they're feeling, where this job is kind of leading them to on a day-to-day basis, so they're feeling fulfillment. How do you feel when your alarm goes off? Because I know I felt like shit. I didn't want to get out of bed every day. I literally didn't want to go out of bed. I felt, what am I doing? I don't want to do this stuff at all. I really didn't. And like I said, I was only there a short period of time. And if you're doing that for, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. A lot of people do this, and I just think it's no way to live your life. And I've said this to multiple people. You're not living, you're just existing. And you need to find that for yourself of what it is you want to do with your time, because I believe that anyone can do what they want to do. And I understand jobs are very important, and it can be a means to an end. And that's what I see it as a lot of the time. You're working a job to achieve your goals, to push the goalposts, to get to where you want to be. But you have to take time to think of that, and you have to be purposeful. You have to have goals in mind. You have to have a vision. And if you don't do that, you will be floating. You will be like these 40, 50-year-old men sat in the office, fat, out of shape, unhappy, probably have no money as well. And this might sound brutal, but it is. I saw it firsthand. I know people like that. And that will be you if you don't, figure out what you want in life. And also by doing this, you'll be a lot happier once you have goals, once you have a clear vision. But you have to take time. You have to spend time on your own. You have to figure this out for yourself. And that's difficult. It's very difficult. And I'm still learning myself. But if you want any more guidance on how to achieve that, how you can achieve what you want, find your true self, achieve your goals that would actually bring you meaning and fulfillment in your life, my one-to-one personal coaching link will be in the description. I hope this video has helped you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.